Hello everybody, this is Jeff Neville for Selective Imagery. Welcome to a video titled Radioactive Lenses. Now this isn't a make-believe thing. This isn't something that I created to scare the photographic world. This is the truth. This is something that I ran into when trying to buy a vintage lens for a couple Minolta cameras that I have. I went on eBay, found a dealer who was selling a 28mm MCW Rocker-SI f2.5 28mm lens. Phenomenal shape. I get it. I'm very happy with it. I'm like, wow, everything, apertures turn, nice click stops, focus, nice and smooth, perfect. No scratches, no blemishes, just a little bit of cleaning that needed to get done on the outside. Very little at that. Was very happy with it. Until I put it on the camera. I look through the camera and I'm looking across the street. So I have some of the blacktop in the photo, a grassy area, houses in the background, blue sky with some white clouds. Well, the blacktop didn't look too black. The green grass, looking through the camera, had a yellow tinge to it. So everything had a slight yellow tinge to it. And I'm like, gee, this is really strange. So I had purchased another Minolta lens, a rocker lens, 135mm, and I put that on the camera, and everything looked fine. Everything looked how I saw it with the naked eye. There was no yellowing whatsoever. So I go out on a search to do some homework and try to understand where this yellowing appearance is coming from. And I find out, unbeknownst to me, that many lenses produced in the 1940s through the 1980s, and in many cases intentionally introduced a radioactive isotope into the lens formulation for camera lenses, predominantly by Eastman Kodak. Okay, in 1945, they came out with a patent for a glass formulation that introduced thorium and lanthanum to the glass formulation. Now, the thorium is supposed to help with giving you optical properties to reduce some chromatic aberrations and allow you to make your lenses a little bit cheaper because you can use lenses of lower curvature because of the characteristics of the thorium. So Kodak did it intentionally and put it in their lenses for a long, long time. Now, with those lenses, they had, up to 30% by weight. They used this thorium lanthanum combination, and eventually the glass element could turn almost brown over time, and that was due to the decaying of the radioactive isotopes. So what started off as a clear lens eventually could turn almost brown. Now, get on the specific subject of my Minolta lens. There were other lens companies that accidentally introduced radioactive isotopes into one or more of their lens elements. Every lens element wasn't radioactive. It was basically contaminated material that had thorium in it. And those lenses didn't tend to turn brown, but they would develop a yellow cast over time. And for some people that buy these lenses that have the yellow cast and they're aware of the problem, they shoot black and white. Well, a lot of people put yellow lens filters on their lenses when they shoot black and white intentionally. So they don't even worry about it. They use it with the yellow tinge. It gives them the results they want with their black and white photos, and they're happy. But for those of us that shoot color, we certainly don't want to have something that's supposed to be black looking yellow black. So I did some research, and I'm giving you that information now. And Minolta had basically 2 lenses that were affected because the glass got contaminated. It was the when I mentioned the 28 millimeter f2.8 Minolta MCW Rocker-SI, and they also had a Minolta MC Rocker-PG 58 millimeter 1.2. So those were the 2 lenses that they made that had problems. Now, eventually they banned radioactive elements from glass, so only the early releases of those 2 lenses had the thorium in it. Eventually, when this became more pronounced and more known in the industry, they banned it. So newer copies of those 2 lenses might not have any thorium in them at all. Now mine did, so the question is, what do I do about it? So I got this information, and I went on YouTube. I found someone who managed to get rid of the yellow tinge by using an LED lamp that he bought from IKEA, which they no longer make. And I was able to buy that same lamp and through eBay for about $25, brand new in the box. And you'll see it in some video clips that I'm going to show. And I'll show some still photos as to how I wrapped up the lens and what I did and for how long and whether or not it worked. So you could use these LED lamps, which were not UV, but according to going online and reading, it didn't have to be a UV lamp. A UV lamp would work as well if you had one. But you have to expose the lens element to either bright light or UV light. Now, some people would take these lenses and stick them outside in the yard and let the sun hit them. And I wouldn't recommend that, because depending on the heat generated, you could dry up the greases inside the lens. You could cause other problems by trying to fix that particular one. So for me, I use this LED lamp, and I will give you the results later on. But we'll continue with some still images and some narration along with some video clips that I did. So a word to the wise, you know, do some homework if you're going to buy an old lens. See if it happened to be a lens that falls into the category of lenses that were made with thorium, either intentionally or accidentally, and it might change your purchasing decision. Whether or not that doomed me, you'll find out later on. I did contact the seller. He had a 30-day warranty. He was not aware that this could happen either. And he's a stand-up person. I'm not going to mention his name without asking permission. So let's just say he sent me a mailer with a label to ship the lens back and get a full refund. And I said, well, let me try this stuff out, see if it works. If it works, keep the money. No harm, no foul. We both learned something. Okay, we're both better off. So the story will continue down the road in a minute. So here we go. We start with a few pictures of the lens. Here's a side view, followed by a front view. Now, when you look at the reflection in the upper half of this lens, you'll see the light coming through the window shades and everything is yellow. That's the lens. That's the yellow in the lens. Now, I start by taking the rear lens cap and I put a piece of aluminum foil in it, and then I attach it back on the lens. Then I cut a piece of cardboard. It's a few inches taller than the total length of the lens, and I line the inside with aluminum foil. I then wrap it around the lens and secure it with some duct tape. And here it is with the lens installed in there. It still has the lens cap on, which obviously I take off at a later point in time. And now we lead you right into the videos. So here I have the setup. It's cardboard, handmade cardboard tube wrapped around the lens, lined with aluminum. Like I said, aluminum in the lens cap on the bottom, attached to the lens. The LED lamp is maybe ½ inch or less above the lens element. I'll check it in a couple hours. LEDs don't normally really create any heat to speak of, but I will check it in a couple hours and make sure that that it is not hot. And if it is, I will back it up a little further away from the front lens. But for now, I think the distance should be fine, and we shall see what happens over the course of 72 hours or so. And I'll let you know how it worked out. So here we go, the end of my effort to get rid of the thorium yellow tinge from my old Minolta lens that I bought. So I had the light shining through a cardboard tube lined with aluminum foil for 48 hours, shining through the front element. And then I've had it shining through directly onto the rear element for about another 36 hours. So I'm going to remove it, put it on the camera, and see if there's any difference. Here we go. Trying to film through this lens so you can see how clear it is now. It is clear. It is clear. So in the end, as you can see, everything ended up working out perfectly. I'm a happy camper. I'll write to the guy who I bought the lens from and say, keep the money, buddy. And I'll send him a copy of this video link so he can watch it and educate himself a little bit. But all's well that ends well, and hopefully this helps those of you who may accidentally run into the same problem someday and not know what to do. Enjoy life, capture some of it. That's my motto. Go out and take some pictures. For those who follow me regularly, other than I do have a video for next Thursday, it might be a little slow coming after that. I kind of hurt myself, hurt my foot, and I'm on crutches right now, and I'm kind of like unable to take pictures for a little while, so I hope it clears up. It's a marked improvement since last Wednesday. So I'm hoping another 2 or 3 days I might be able to start walking on it a little bit and get out there again, but we'll have to see what happens. So take care, everybody. Go out and shoot. Enjoy life. Take care.